Hello everyone, this is a technique video for those who didn't get a chance to come to the session earlier on. I'm going to go through the same technique approach that I use and try and explain why it's important and why good technique is important for preventing injuries as well. Everyone did very well earlier on, you'll all be pleased to know. I'm going to put my feet in the straps. My setting here is, I've got size 7 feet, so small feet for a man, and I put it on number 3. So where I try and go with the straps is just, as Heidi May said, just across the bunion bit. So the top of the strap is really at the base of the toes. It doesn't really want to be in any other position. It's just to hold really the balls of your feet down at what's called the foot plate. Right. The beginning of the stroke is where we're going to start is here, and what I call this is called backstops position, and where the oar handle is just really at the sort of the bottom of my ribs, sort of the base where they come together, or top of the diaphragm. You may want to say that. Now the reason I like coming to here and not to here or not down to here is because it, for me, is the strongest position, and it means that the straight lines, my elbows can go straight behind me, and you'll see that my wrists are flat and my forearms are flat as well. If I came here, you see what happens to my forearms? They go into a different angle and my wrists would have to bend, and it gets, from my perspective, a little bit weaker in terms of the stroke. And also, what we want to try and do is at some point in the stroke use these big lat muscles as well to help translate. It's much easier to use the lat muscles when the arms are coming through here. So that's why I always try and get people to finish the stroke here. So what we were talking about this morning was simply having the body at what I call 11 o'clock. So I'm at the 11 o'clock position at the moment on the finish, and then my arms go out, and then the body rocks over to the 1 o'clock position, and then my legs start to move. So we were focusing very much on this, trying to get this body movement from 11 o'clock, the arms go out, my body hasn't moved, I rock, and what we were talking about as well was rocking from the hip, not from the shoulders, so not dropping there, not see that difference, slouch, my head, neck comes down, but actually nothing moves from here. You want to try and get the whole of the back to move. So the arms go out, the body rocks from the hips, and then my legs start to come up. So we were focusing on just the arms leading the body over, and back again, arms leading the body over, back again, arms leading the body over. So what this does is once you set the body position, it means you don't have to try and reach with the body for any more length. So it's important that you try and set this up. And the other thing that happens is that the handle has gone over my knees, in fact it's over my shins, before my knees have even broken. So what often happens is you'll see it in the gym, people will do this, and then their arms will go over, and their body's still back, and you see how much chain is still there, which means the stroke is shorter, people drive back, and then they'll do this. So what we're trying to do is set good technique, set you in a strong position, and then the legs can come up nice and freely. And what I don't need to do, and I will do a full stroke in a minute, I don't need to try and gain more length. That's the strongest position, and it's where I'm going to get the maximum length as well in terms of the stroke without trying to overreach with the body, and it gives me max compression. The other thing we talked about this morning was the fact that rowing is a pushing exercise. It is not a pulling exercise. You push with your legs through the stroke. 60% of the power comes from here, 30% through the core, 10% finish the stroke off through the arms. We'll get there in a second, but this is really, really important. It's a pushing sport. So once we set the body over, then we were getting the legs compressed up, and you see that my shins, 90 degrees, and in a strong position, And then all I'm going to do is going to just put my heels down, body comes back, and then the arms will draw. So just reverse of what we were actually doing the first time round. Push. I'm just trying to break it down a little bit so you can see what we're trying to do. Body. Arms go out, body goes over. So I'm just going to start rowing normally. You'll see how it all blends together. The arms lead the body out. So that's basically the motion. The other thing we talked about this morning was going the other way. So pushing with the legs. So pushing with the legs. So my body doesn't move. Pushing with the legs so my body doesn't move. And then introducing the body. The body goes back to the 1 o'clock position. 11 o'clock, goes back to the 1 o'clock. 11 o'clock, back to the 1 o'clock. And then I'm going to introduce my arms. So and you'll see the chain isn't really making too much movement. It pretty much goes in and out, not quite the same height. My hands drop a little bit, but there's not that much movement in terms of the height. So it's a very simple movement. So things to remember in terms of technique. Body, 11 o'clock, arms go out, the body rocks over to 1 o'clock, and then the legs come up. Very important, gives you the ability to move. No need to reach any further forward. If you reach further forward with the upper body, it means that your bottom sticks out further that way, and it means that you can't compress and you can't use your legs. We were talking about power clean. So if you're power cleaning, you pivot from the hip, and then you get yourself into a strong position, and then you drive. And the drive comes through the legs, and through the core, and then through the arms. Very, very similar. So, now that is a very rapid canter, I would say, through rowing technique. Happy to help out any more, and hopefully I will see some of the people I met this morning and others that I have not met. Thank you very much. Bye.